and putting it together for our first matchup of the day. It's going to be Mendonça against Huda.
Oi, sou Rafael Mendonça, sou do Brasil e estou representando a América.
Hi, my name is Huda. I'm from Indonesia. I represent Asia East AC Milan Club Final.
Para mim é importante estar aqui para representar que não há idade. Igual eu tenho 34 anos e não tenho idade para tentar um sonho de ir para o Mundial no Japão. Para mim, jogar futebol é como se fosse um refúgio para um descanso, para sair da rotina.
Perasaan saya di San Siro ini sangat bangga pastinya, sangat senang bisa berada di sini.
Eu não penso que tem rival fraco aqui, né? Então todos são fortes, se estão aqui são fortes.
Perasaan saya campur aduk, bisa senang, bisa sedih, bisa berantakan, bisa emosi.
A última mensagem, eu quero que todos do Brasil estejam torcendo por mim, da comunidade mobile, e que eu consiga vencer.
Doakan saya semoga bisa menjuarai di klub final event AC Milan dan bisa pergi ke Tokyo.
Like to see taking the hot seat here to kick off the AC Milan Club Event Finals. Qualification campaign, by the way, started all the way back in November. It is going to be Huda, who is on your screen currently, against Mendonça. What's interesting, Alex, is seeing these two go up against each other first, because I believe they've both been at club event finals this season already. As you said earlier, Mendonça just a few weeks ago got very, very close at the Bayern finals, losing in the grand final just 1-0. And then Huda as well, all the way back at the Arsenal club event finals in the group stages. Feels like almost a lifetime ago now. They both have another chance here. The question is, which one of these two looks the favourite going in?
Well, difficult to know from this moment, but the reality is that looking at how this scenario is, being in a group of three, this match feels like a final, no? I think the one leaving game one with 3 points is a massive impact to get into the grand final. But everything can happen now. At the end of the day, first game, as we saw, they are quite cold already. Not that, that will be, with the pass of the time, getting better and better. Two different mentalities, the passion of Brazilian and the calm of the Huda, but we'll see his hands start to be sweating so much, and that's things that happen. No, it's completely different scenario compared to console later on. And now with your finger, you need to be, with the perfect humidity of them, not to make any wrong angle directions, misclick in game. But the overall pretty excited to start the competition with such a big match.
It's a big match, not only because, as you said, 3 players in this group, every single match you will play. If you come away with any form of points, you're putting yourself in a decent position moving forward. But also it's the first match of the day. So Mendonça and Huda, they need to be on their A game. Who will start strongest between these two? We are just moments away from finding that out. Interesting to note, Alex, 34 years of age is Mendonça. He said in the video, there is no age too old to go to the World Finals, so that's fantastic. But there's a 13-year age disparity between the two. Huda, 21 years old. A lot of experience comes into it when you think of age differences. Huda, coming from a hotbed of talent in Indonesia, no doubt will have had reps against some of the best players out there, the likes of Dennis Bernard, Philip Frank coming from that region as well. So many strong players. Do you think age and life experience between the two could well be the turning point in this match?
Yeah, definitely. In terms of offline experiences, he's the one with the most appearances so far, but not at this level. So, you know, you never know how will carry on this opportunity. At the end, he's still young. So, you know, maybe the cameras, maybe the pressure to see everyone rooting from you from home could make you an impact. And at the end of the day, in eFootball Mobile, if you don't start strong, taking the initiative, taking the lead, it's not the perfect scenario. So we'll see. We are about to see tactics and formation. This is what we want the most. 5 center backs, 5-2-1-2 for Huda, and pretty much the same for Mendonça, which with a different view, more widely formation with that Rafael Leao as a left winger.
It's that midfield, isn't it, Alex? That's the difference.
Yeah, and especially possession for Mendonça, which is the biggest affinity of the coach Sergio Conceição, which is 72 points, versus the quick counter, which is a bit weaker, let's say, but you know, is the main game style in eFootball. So it's all about try the new thing, which is the possession, or go for it with your comfort zone, which is quick counter. Will be pretty interesting, especially for Huda. This man, the AMF, love to check with those whole player running forward to be almost as a third striker will be the key for Huda. And yeah, for Mendonça, try to defend Huda and use those wingers and try maybe a cross or something else, take the lead and park the bus. We'll see.
Well, there has been a few Loftus-Cheek player items in the game, so it will be interesting to see who favours which player item across the board. That's a conversation we'll be able to have throughout the show and tournament today. But the moment you've all been waiting for is now here. It is the AC Milan Club Event Championship Finals of 2025. 2 spots to be decided today across mobile and console for the World Finals, held in Tokyo in just a couple of months' time now. It's going to be a very important factor to start off quickly, and it is Mendonça here who is on the defensive early, I believe, Alex.
Yeah, take a love to check. Even he has a great position, great role into the team. His passing is not the best. Rafael Leao, Huda!
Oh, that's a perfect start!
Indonesia leading RRQ Huda. Easy pass with the finesse dribbling, opening out the angle a little bit, plus that double touch and the wonderful finesse. Impossible for the keeper, impossible for Mendonça. And now how to react. Quite passive the way to defend the first appearance, the first chance, sorry. But really, really important one for Huda.
You almost can't stand off this AC Milan front line with players like this that can pull off such sumptuous finishes, even on mobile. Have to try and stick tight to them. The double touch affords the space to him, and
look,
no
this is what happens at this level. When your plan A doesn't work, now Mendonça has to change formation, go forward a little bit, adding more players to the attack, and it's now going to appear João Felix, the Portuguese, as a SS right behind these two strikers, and most likely he will wait the round forward for the fullbacks. No wingers anymore for Mendonça. Here we go, kickoff for him. 1 goal down, and seems having some doubts in his gameplay, and it's Huda again going forward. Harry, and we'll see this action.
It's almost a carbon copy of the start of the match for Mendonça, losing possession straight away. Huda will be hoping he can capitalise, but Mendonça now in possession on this near side. Here is the Portuguese man you rightly pointed out. But defensively, AC Milan really strong as well. Kyle Walker, plenty of space, so pace as well down this near side. He's on the ball now.
Especially this right side with Kyle Walker and Tio is really strong. No, Tio is a really complete defender with mostly all the skill ability. Now the mistake.
Oh, big mistake.
Mendonça! Oh my goodness! He manually put Tio right away to block the shot. That was smart, but big mistake, Harry. That could cost him a goal.
Both players making mistakes here early on. Oh, sends Tamori down the road there with that skill move. Royale
Hernandez
couldn't quite find Hernandez at the first time of asking. Here's Fofana. Reinders has a couple of men pressing him here, but Loftus-Cheek is that player that you pointed out could be a difference maker. That's some nice footwork
it's really
nice
difficult
finesse as well on the half-hour
because Mendonça is putting two defensive midfielders right there, so there is no room to move around. But even with that, Huda is somehow finding solution. Pretty impressive. As we see, Indonesian guy dominates all the resources from the gameplay. Look at that finesse dribbling just to make him move out of position. Rafael Leao, the pass. Tammy Abraham. Paulo is still on the chance for Huda.
The finesse finish as well.
Indonesia again. RQ Huda this time with Tammy Abraham catching that rebound. We saw Mendonça wasn't able to really clear it properly.
After 37 minutes.
And when you lose the ball in the right position, Harry, there is not that much to do. 2-0. And that's a massive goal, for sure.
It's a big, big goal, and I think Mendonça will be quite disappointed with how many mistakes, forced or otherwise, he's conceded here. Visible frustration on his face, but Tammy Abraham, he gets chances like that, he will eat them up all day. Latest goal, I should say.
Oh, look at the mistake.
Comes by way of Huda, and he's here through again with the man who just scored, trying to make it two! He does!
Oh, what a class.
He does make it two for the Englishman.
That's
5 minutes from half-time. It is now Huda 3, Mendonça 0.
Well, getting into details, even if it was a little bit unfortunate for Mendonça, but charging down stunning shot, but then cancel it and leave behind the goalkeeper, an easy finesse to score the third goal of the match. 3-0 for RQ Huda. And it's not that easy, no? You have to remember, differently than on console, there is no manual goalkeeper, so there is the solution to avoid that blocking for the goalie. Wonderful done. 3-0 RQ Huda, and Indonesian guy does no surprisings on this start of the competition, and it's Mendonça now who needs to find out something else, no? Harry, in terms of gameplay, he can't defend any single action from Huda, and we see now attacking, he can have his first one.
Far side, there's that purple power bar that we associate, of course, with those stunning inputs. But Manyan always going to match that, and I think this will be the last action on our screens of the first half, and it's the man on a hat-trick at the moment, Tammy Abraham, trying to find Leao. But the first half is in the books, and it is Huda 3 and Mendonça 0. One of the most clinical performances I think I've seen in a first half of eFootball Mobile.
To all members of the crowd, I'd like to ask you to join me in wishing
it went too fast for us as well. I think for the same for people at home, 3 goals, and almost the feeling that unstoppable, no? Huda for the moment, any action, big mistake on both sides, but it's really Mendonça having a hard time, no, right now in gameplay, attacking, defending, and yeah, somehow he needs to find solution. Sometimes more the feeling with the gameplay rather than the tactic itself. So I think he needs to work on that, because if he's not in this game, he will have a last chance against the Ukrainian Pasha later on. So we'll see.
Well, it's an ideal beginning of the club event finals for Huda, because he does remain on the stage after this as his next game, his final group stage game.
That's positive, eh?
Straight away. So, as you say, it's a positive start for Huda in the driver's seat. Still a second half of eFootball Mobile to play. Mendonça in the home strip of the Rossinieri, defending this kickoff. The second half.
I love the pace.
Here, just pressuring that defence, moving that line up, but a little bit too early. Was the pass or the run? We're not sure. But a bit of a let-off there to begin the second half of Mendonça.
I think
things to start going his way, Alex.
Huda has the feeling that he doesn't need to run that much to go through, and he just moving the ball from the left to right, dragging opponent out of position is enough for him. to overcome Mendonça defenders. But we'll see. Different scenario. We asked for more for the Brazilian. We need to react. And now,
here it is.
Could be the chance. The through ball.
Oh, he's still on.
Still on will be Mendonça.
Can he get one back? He can.
Yeah, back on track.
Game on. A wonderful goal. Scored by Tammy Abraham. Still had so much to do when he won the ball back. That makes it Huda 3, Mendonça 1. Just 2 goals to try and claw back here in the second half.
We clearly see they both are having a hard time defending. Pavlovic wasn't able to clear that ball, and it's Tammy Abraham this time for Mendonça catching that one, and with not the best finesse, putting it on the net. 3-1, and that was really necessary for the Brazilian, which now can breathe a little bit and going for the match and have the feeling that also his opponent is struggling at the back.
Well, I think that will be quite a big relief for Mendonça, obviously conceding quite early on. Immediately swapped his formation. I think that will just be a bit of a psychological reinforcement for him, knowing that, okay, I was right to adjust my tactics so early on. This is a nice over-the-top through ball. Will Leao get there first? He won't. In the end, the touchline wins out that time.
Yeah, maybe they will need to make some substitutions. We see, not for the moment. Look at the positioning of the left back, Theo Hernandez, that joins the attack in a wonderful way with a through pass.
Oh, that's
Tijani
nice.
Reinders, look at the spot, the cross, Rafa Leao!
Oh, there he is.
Easy peasy, Huda again. A wonderful one.
Get used to seeing that name today. Rafael Leao gets on the end of the cross. Really nice steadying of himself there from Huda. Just as we said, it was psychologically reinforcing Mendonça after he scores. Huda getting one back almost immediately will just be reassuring for the man all the way from Indonesia. 4-1.
Really necessary goal, just to say this game one is for me, because once and again 3 goals up seems to be almost or let's say really difficult to turn over the table for Mendonça, which now going to substitution with Christian Pulisic to AMF right behind.
Still staying with his
Striker.
5 at the back, it looks like. Alex, do you think maybe moved away from that kind of full-back formation at this point?
This is like football, it is. No, when you are leading, everything seems perfect. When you are losing, you start to switch formation, expecting something else, but sometimes it's you and your opponent. No? And somehow is Huda way better into the game. Let's see the last part of the game, how it goes. Because this seems really positive for the man from Indonesia.
It does indeed, and he's won the ball back. 4-1. Huda leads. And what a show opener. He's maybe having a bit of a missed input there, going for the stunning strike. Maybe saw something that we didn't up here in the commentary booth. But just 20 minutes, 15 in-game minutes now. That's how quickly the mobile clock runs in the top left hand of your screens between Huda and a fantastic 3 points that would all but secure himself a grand final spot later on today. He wants to have a cherry on the cake here with another, a 5th goal. But as you said, too much there, dancing in and around the box. 10 minutes to go. Royale near side here for Huda. He looks impressive. Trying to find Leao.
Finally, it took some time to Mendonça to regain the ball, and now quickly missing that another pass, and is giving so much room to Huda to move the ball to left to right, taking his time to build up his play, and that seems to be so difficult for the Brazilian, which now go forward, but not once again losing the ball.
Chance here for a 5th as the 90th minute looms. That's a nice attempt at a through ball towards Royale. He will be rewarded with a corner kick near side to end the game, essentially. It'll be Theo Hernandez, will it, to swing this one in towards the front post.
Added minute has been indicated.
4 minutes added on, and this one is all but a formality. 3 points will be going to Huda. Is there a consolation with this last break here for Mendonça? Leao cannot get there before Manyan, and that is the full-time whistle. Except it isn't. It's offside.
Still on. But yeah, it's practically over for this game. One that will emerge with 3 points for Huda, for the Indonesian, that will put in a perfect scenario to get to the grand final later on. GG, boys.
GG, well played indeed. Huda takes the 3 points in match number 1. The referee finally blew the full-time whistle following that offside. But what a performance by that man on the screen. AC Milan club event finalists by way of Indonesia. Huda with 3 points against Mendonça. Well, here we go. You can see the statistics on your screen just before we look at some of Huda's handiwork there. 6 shots and 6 on target for Huda. Really clinical.
No, definitely the stat doesn't lie. No, at the end we saw the superiority for Huda from the very beginning. We saw that moment when Mendonça, made that extra little pressure over him, but not enough. And yeah, Mendonça has a lot to do if he want to be in the grand final later on, Harry. That's the truth.
Indeed it does. Here's where it started in just the 10th minute of the match. Really nice footwork by Rafael Leao. Again, get used to hearing that name here today. As Huda storms into a lead. It was the ideal start for him. There were chances though for Mendonça. I think he'll be ruining the fact he couldn't tuck this one away. That would have equalised it, but then at the other end it was Tammy Abraham staying alive to it, and really nice controlled finish to give that 2-goal cushion 10 minutes from half-time. And of course, following that Tammy Abraham goal, which put Huda in a really commanding position, we saw even more from the Indonesian, of course, our Western Asia runner-up. This was a mistake, almost carbon copy of how the first, or rather the second goal went in for him. Pouncing on a mistake, and it is, again, Tammy Abraham with the tidy finishing. That made it 3-0 before half-time. And you can see exactly Mendonça realising he was almost beating himself at that stage. Just too many mistakes. Into the second half we went, and Tammy Abraham was the intended recipient of that through pass, stayed alive to it, and the defender couldn't recover his own mistake. And that time for Mendonça, it looked like, okay, well, if the second half goes your way, there's a chance of salvaging some points. But it was this Reinders cross into the grateful and waiting feet of that man, Rafael Leao, scoring his second for Huda, and it will be Semra 3 points to the Garuda Warrior there on the stage. What a great performance from him.
It certainly was a great performance, and I tell you what, I mean, that's certainly one way to come out swinging and telling the world what you're capable of. It's been a brilliant start of the day for Huda, who's going to be in action again straight away after this. He's now with Alex. We can go ahead and get his thoughts as to starting off on such a fine foot.
Well, here we are with RRQ Huda. First 3 point of the day. Congratulations. How does that feel?
Perasaannya pastinya sangat senang, apalagi match pertama pasti match pembukaan yang sangat sulit.
It's a very difficult one because the first match is a very important match. But yeah, I finally success to move to the second match.
Well, now with the new scenario, 1 game left for you. Is there anything you have prepared, or your actual gameplay is everything you can show us today?
Apa strategi untuk game kedua?
Strategi game kedua pastinya ya kurang lebih sama aja. Yang penting jangan membuat kesalahan yang fatal kayak tadi.
I will use the same strategy in the first match, just to focus not to make some mistakes like in the previous match.
Well, it's good to know. RRQ Huda looking good today, and why not be into the grand final later on? So we'll see. Best of luck on game 2. See you now.